Hey guys, it's Yanni here. Today's video, we're not going to be traveling. I feel like every time I come onto this channel, we are traveling. We're going to the airport, we're going to the train station. We're always going somewhere. But today's video, we are actually going to be reviewing or testing out the Sigma 18-35 f1.8 lens that I just purchased yesterday on Amazon and it arrived today. I will link the lens down below if you want to check it out. This lens cost about $1,000 and it's very expensive, but that's okay because most lenses that I use for my photography anyway are around that price and even more. The 50mm 1.2 is around $2,000. It's okay because it produces a lot of good pictures. If you want to check out my photography website, link down below. But the reason why I purchased this lens because for the longest time I have been looking for the perfect lens for B-roll for traveling. And I haven't found that lens until I just finally gave in to this. Now, some cons for this lens I heard is there's no image stabilization. Mainly, what I'm going to be using this lens for anyway is just for B-roll and for capturing, moments. I'm not going to be using this lens for talking, vlogging. However, I will test that out as well because when I'm talking and when I'm vlogging like this, talking to the camera, I'm mostly walking, I'm mostly on the go. So think of it as like I am a run and gun type of vlogger. We're going to test it out. So we're going to be walking with this lens, talking, pretend it's a vlogging camera. It is 18mm and I have a crop sensor camera body, so I don't know how that works, but I'm probably gonna be cropped. I probably wouldn't be as wide as this one because right now I'm using the 10 to 18mm, and prior to this lens I have been using this lens for talking, for B-roll, and for everything. I'm like, you know what, let me just purchase a lens for B-roll, and I think I need it anyway. I need it for my travel vlogs and I also need it for my wedding photography. But anyway, we're gonna test out the lens. We're gonna walk around the city right now. We are gonna go to Chinatown. We're gonna go to Queen Street West. I'm from Toronto, by the way. We're also gonna go to Kensington Market because Fabio is looking for things to buy, so we're just gonna explore the city and see how we're gonna capture. Oh, by the way, I also purchased an ND filter in this lens. This is the brand called Newer. It was only $19 on Amazon. So I'm gonna link everything down below and I will give all my final thoughts at the end of this video. So we're ready to go. I think I'm gonna switch lens now and I'm gonna use the new Sigma 1.8 18-35mm art lens from now on. Okay, you guys, so we are out and about and we are testing this lens. So as you can see, it's pretty sunny right now. I did some B-rolls already and I think it is very bright in the sun. However, I do have the ND filter, and if you are in the shade, I think it's okay. I also would like to add that right now my aperture is 1.8, like full on 1.8. That's the reason why I bought this lens, because I want it to be very cinematic and I want my background to be blurry. So how do I look right now? Is my background very blurry? Am I still sharp? The autofocus I think is very, very good. I think I am very shaky right now because I don't have image stabilization and it is very heavy to vlog with. So I also would like to add that I think I am very close to the camera right now. It is not the normal, wide angle, that the one that I had up in my apartment, back in my apartment, that it's very, very wide. That's the 35. This is the 18, and yeah, I might have to buy a darker ND filter to use the 1.8 because right now I do feel like it is very, very bright in the sun right now when I do B-rolls. And later on when I'm editing the footage, I also would like to know how it is, if you can hear the auto-focusing system. I have to switch arm because it's too heavy. Yeah, I want to know later how it is with the auto-focusing system, if you can hear it out, auto-focusing on my face. Let's try. If not, then this can be a run and gun kind of thing. Because when you take B-roll and you just want to quickly talk to the camera and I don't want to switch lenses, this would be the perfect for it. Okay, so we're in the sun. I don't know how I look right now.
Me
Let me just add that when we're in the sun, I put the aperture to 2.8 because it is too bright with 1.8. And I also just want to say that everything in this vlog is handheld, so I don't really know until later how shaky it is right now. So I think I kind of figured out the lighting situation for my ND filter and my setup with the lens right now. So if it's sunny, of course the music came on. So if it's sunny, I have to bump up the aperture from 1.8 to 2.8. And if we're in the shade, 1.8 will do with the ND filter right now. If I really want to use the 1.8, which I do, I might really have to buy another ND filter. I have to switch hands. Wow, it's really heavy, y'all. I cannot vlog. This is not for run and gun, but it's for B-roll. Alright guys, so we stopped by at this sushi place in Kensington Market in Toronto. We decided to grab lunch because we were so hungry. But first reaction or first impression of this lens is it's heavy. So if you are a run and gun travel vlogger, you typically carry your camera out and you pretty much carry it with your hand everywhere you go, right? So this one was hanging on my neck the entire time, and every time I don't vlog, I just hang it on my neck and I carry it in my hand, and it is very heavy. So that's my first impression for this lens. But I feel like the lens is very sharp. It doesn't have image stabilization. I don't know how the footage right now, if they're very shaky. I also did not turn on the in-body image stabilization for my camera because I don't want the warpy effect. We'll find out after editing. Another impression for this lens as well is I think it's very versatile. I can do some close-up, good enough close-up. 35mm is equivalent to 50mm. 18mm is what enough for me to do all this talking. My boyfriend right now is vlogging me. The 1.8 is really what I'm after here. I don't care about the image stabilization. I think if I do slow motion, which I typically do for my B-rolls anyway, I'm just gonna have a very stabilized image anyway, so we'll see if that will work. Anyway, what do you guys think? Comment down below what do you think of the footage, all the B-rolls so far. But I'm not done. I'm planning to take more B-rolls here. We would like to walk around in the area and grab coffee after. So. Alright guys, after lunch we decided to grab coffee here, still at the Kensington Market. A special shout out, if you make it to Toronto, please make sure to visit Kensington Market. It's one of the kind. It's a market. There's a lot of shops, there's a lot of nice places to eat at. Souvenir shops that you want to buy from, I think. So a little more about this lens is later on when I'm editing all the footage. I'm so curious how bad the shakiness is. It's probably so bad because none of the image stabilization in my in-body camera is on. I turn it off in purpose because I hate it. It does the warp effect, especially when I slow-mo the footage. And as we all know, the lens doesn't have any image stabilization, so I think that's gonna be bad. The reason why I bought this lens is when I'm traveling full-time next year is I needed a lens for good B-roll, and I was so close of buying the 50mm 1.8 or 1.4, but it's very limited. But I think this lens is very versatile because I get 18 to 35, which is about equivalent to 27 to 50mm in full frame world. So it's very versatile. I get to do a wide, a little bit of wide enough to do talking like this, and close enough to do some B-roll, close-up shots and everything. And I'm also curious about the gear of the autofocus, if my microphone catches the noise of it autofocusing, because everybody online been telling me that it's so bad that you hear it, blah blah blah, and some people say it's okay actually. So I'm curious. I'm gonna find it out later when I'm editing the footage. Alright guys, I'm back from gallivanting around the city. So final thoughts of this lens, summary of this video. I think this lens is very worth it. For some reason, people online are telling me that you can buy this lens for only $700 or $800, but however, on Amazon and Sigma website, they're all telling me that the lens is around $1,098. So I paid a total of $1,200. But anyway, beside the point, I have two notes that I noticed right away for this lens. Actually make that three. One, I've said this so many times in this video, the lens is very heavy. Being a B-roll lens, I think is very helpful because I don't have to carry it all the time. I don't have to vlog with it all the time. So I would only have to pull out the lens whenever I need to do B-rolls. Second is the autofocus. Now, the autofocus is very, very good. So it's very, very fast from far focusing to the foreground, near subject focusing. It's very fast, it switches right away. However, for my specific setup, I'm not blaming the lens, I think it's just my specific setup. I have the Metabone adapter for my Canon M6 mirrorless camera. There are situations where the lens loses contact with the body, so the lens doesn't perform the autofocus. Like it just stays in one focus, and no matter how I tap the screen to focus on specific subject, it wouldn't focus to it because it just, for some reason, it's just stuck. It happened to me in my other lenses whenever I use this adapter or the combination from this adapter with the Canon M6, but maybe that's just it. However, other than that, face tracking, subject tracking, it's very, 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 very good. I think it's the Canon M6 dual pixel focusing technology or something. Lastly, let's talk about the cons. I think there are two cons that I could think of right away about this lens. One of them, without the image stabilization. I'm sure it is so bad walking without any stabilization in my camera because I turned it off, or my lens. I turned off the stabilization in my camera, like I said earlier, because I don't want the warpy effect, especially when I do the B-roll for slow motion, which is the reason why I bought this lens, and which I'm gonna be dedicating this lens towards B-roll anyway. And the second con for me, which is not major, is just the zoom length of this lens. It's only zooming in all the way up to 35mm, which I think I could use a little bit more, tiny bit more length zooming in with this lens. But other than that, it's not a big deal because the lens also has a macro capability, which I could go very close up with the subject. Again, 35mm is just a little bit too wide for me, maybe, where I have to really walk towards the subject or to any subject that I want to focus on. So other than that, that's pretty much it I could think of so far. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this is very informative, and I hope this could help you all out there in making your decision if you really want to buy this lens. For me, if you are thinking of buying this lens, go ahead, buy it. I know I've watched all videos on the internet. I hope this video alone is the only video you would watch, because to save your time, because that's what I did. I watched 20 million videos on YouTube about reviews about this lens, and a lot of them are talking about sharpness, a lot about them are talking about the autofocus capability. So I'm not going to talk about that in this review. The only thing I'm going to talk about are the things that I'm concerned with. for B-roll, image stabilization, for autofocusing, the zoom range in and out and everything. So I'm telling you right now, the lens is very, very sharp from what I can see from my viewfinder, and from all the other reviews that I saw online, they're all saying that the lens is very, very sharp. So there's no issue about that really. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all next time. Bye guys!